Back to the Interest YouTube channel. In today's class, we're going to learn how to make this beautiful dress. This princess that Bustier dress, and it has this beautiful detail on the shoulder and a detachable waist belt. As you can see, it's a very simple tutorial and it's beginner friendly. This is something you like to learn. Kindly stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. Thank you. So I'll start this by drafting out my half length, which is going to be a princess that bustier. So I've drafted the basic bodice. This is my armhole line, this is my bust point, my under bust, and this is my waistline. So after that, I'll go ahead and mark my bust span measurements. For me, that's 8 inches divided by 2, and that's going to give me 4 inches. So I'll mark that on my under bust. I'll mark on my bust point as well as my waistline, and then I'm going to make it into a straight line. So after this, I'm going to take my dart. I'm working with a dart of 2 inches. So for the dart, I'm going to mark 2 inches on the under bust and the waistline alone, and then I'll make that into a straight line as well. So here, like I said, it's an armhole princess dart, so I'll go over to the armhole area and then mark 4 to 5 inches downwards, or you can just mark your entire armhole and divide that by 2. So after that, I'm going to take my curved ruler and then connect from my under bust to the bust point and then to the armhole. If you have a ruler that can just take everything to you for you at once like this, you can do that as well. So you can see how I place my ruler. So I'm doing this just to avoid any sharp edge. You can see how I'm marking everything together so that it can just follow the curve. No part is going to be sharp. So now this is what I have. So the next thing I'm doing now is to take my circumference measurement. The bust is 40 divided by 4 is 10. So you're going to mark your seam allowance there. For the waist is 34 divided by 4 is 8.5. So I've marked 4 here. I'm going to go ahead and mark the 8.5, and then I'm going to add my seam allowance to that as well. So I'll take my curved ruler and connect. So here my front waist, my front half length is longer by 2 inches. So I have 2 inches difference from the front and back half length. So for that, I'm going to be taking a bust dart of 2 inches there. So from my bust point, I mark 2 inches downwards, and then I'm going to connect that to the bust point. So here is my bust dart. So these are the darts that I'm taking for the front. It's very simple. So here you just decide the type of neckline that you want to work with. So for me, I'm going to be working with a neck width of 3.5 inches and the neck depth of around 5 inches. 5 to 6 inches is okay for me. So I'll grab my curved ruler and then connect that as well. So now this 3.5 inches, you have to take note when you're drafting the back as well, because we're going to join them together of course. So for the back, I have already drafted my backs. So the front is a bust here, but for the back, she said she wants it to have a lacing at the back, just like we lace our back. It's not going to be having a zipper, so I'm not going to work with this zipper allowance. Okay, so now I have my back bodice drafted already. So you need to determine, it's going to have like a yoke. You can cut the yoke out separately, or you cut it to, it's going to have a keyhole at the back. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. So for the keyhole now, you can cut it out separately, or you can cut it together with your bodies. It's totally up to you. So for me, I think I'm going to cut it together with my bodies. So you need to determine the depth that you want for the back neckline. So you can maintain this 9 inches, which is the armhole line, or you can go a little bit higher if you don't want it so high. So I think I'm just going to do 8 inches. Okay, 8 inches is fine for me. So this is where I'm going to start making the keyhole. So you can see how I have connected that. So the center line of my dart, I'm going to extend this upwards because I'm going to cut through the dart completely so that I can insert my modesty panel there. So for the center back, remember I said we're not going to work with zipper. So for me to lace it up, I want, okay, sorry, my camera stopped recording. So like I said, I want it to have like a space of 4 inches at the upper part, and then it's just going to be like a V shape. It will have 4 inches where the neckline is going to start, and then it's going to have 2 inches at the waist. So I'm doing 4 inches on fold. Remember this is on fold, that will be 2 inches. So wherever your neckline stops, if it's on this point that you marked, or on your chest line, if that's where your neckline stops, you go there and mark out 2 inches like this. So this space that we are taking out is going to be covered with our modesty panel. And then here on the waistline that I said I want to be 2 inches, I'm going to mark 1 inch there, and then I'm going to connect it. So all of this is going to be taken off. Okay, I'm going to take this off. And then for the keyhole, you determine where you want the keyhole to be. It can be on your dart line exactly, or you can also make it away from the dart line. But for me, I'll just connect it to my neckline using my curved ruler like this. So like I said earlier, I said I didn't want to cut out the keyhole, but I just remembered that I want the keyhole part to have the selvage. Okay, this lace has, the lace I'm working with has this beautiful selvage, and I want it to appear on this keyhole part like this. So because of that, I'm going to be cutting it out so that it can be easy for me to manipulate that. So on the neckline, remember I used 3.5 inches for the front. So here I'm going to mark out the 3.5 inches as well for the back so that they can match up, and then I'll redraw my neckline. So that is all I have to do for this. So I've gone ahead to cut the front, so you can see the neckline is cut, and then I've cut out my dart and closed my bust dart as well. So this is the front and this is the back. So for the back, like I said, we're not going to be working with the zipper, so I'll just go ahead and cut that. But for the keyhole part, if you want to add a button or at the back here, this place where the keyhole starts, where the neckline and the keyhole point starts, you can add a little extension to it. But if you want to use a hook, you can just tack your hook around here. What I'm saying is, instead of just cutting at this exact point, you can just come down by 1 inch or half an inch here before you connect. I forgot to mention that when we were drafting, before you go ahead and connect this to wherever it is that you want to connect to, like this. So that way you will have this space in between before cutting. By the time I cut it out now, we will see. And like I said, this is where the center back is exactly. So if you need allowance for that, if you feel you need allowance to fix your button or your buttonhole, you can also extend this to your zipper allowance, and then you cut a little out of that too. But I don't need that for mine, so I'll just go ahead and cut this out. So now I'm going to cut on this point, you can see, and then I'm going to cut this out to be my yoke. So now you're going to cut out the neckline as well. So this is what I was saying. You can see now that it is not sharp here, it is not the exact point, so we have like half an inch here to fix maybe a button or whatever it is that you want to fix. So here now I'm going to go ahead and cut out the lower part as well. So remember, all of this is going to go off and be replaced with a modesty panel. So this is going to be my center back. Because it's going to be similar, I will label that center back, and then I'm going to label this one to be the up and this to be the down, so that by the time you cut it out, you will not get confused. So I'll cut out the dart because we are going to be inserting the modesty panel inside this dart to conceal it neatly. So I'll cut it out and this is what the pattern looks like for the back. So I'll go ahead now and cut out this on my fabric and lining. I'll bring it back to show as well. So I have gone ahead to laminate the fabrics. You can see I added wording to it. So these are the sides and this is the center. So I'll go ahead and join them together. So this is the main fabric and these are my lining. I'm going to join it as well and iron. So for the back, I have cut out my fabric for the back. I'll laminate it as well, just like I did for the front. So for this center back, because I'm going to be adding eyelet to it, I'm going to iron stay on it just to make it stronger, and I'm also going to fix 2 bonies on this lacing bar area so that it can be strong. I have several tutorials on this. I have up to 3 or 4 tutorials. I'm going to link one below if you don't know it. Then I'm going to sew it together. So like I said, because of that space, remember we made 4 inches space on the upper part and then 2 inches on the lower part, and I don't want the body of the person to be showing. So because of that, now I'm going to fix this modesty panel. I've already cut it out and I've prepared it. You can see I've turned it out. I have a tutorial on that as well. So this modesty panel, now I'm going to sew it in between this lacing bar and the side. Okay, so I'm going to sew it. It's going to be in between them and then come out like this, so that by the time you lace it, this is what is going to show, not the person's skin. So I'll go ahead and do all of this because this is just a sew along video. I don't want it too long. I'm going to link necessary tutorials down below so that you can understand it. So I will sew my bustier and then sew the back as well, and then bring it back to show us what we have. So I have gone ahead to join the darts together, and then you're going to press open your seams. So I turned the lining and the main fabric on the neckline area just like this. So I'm going to turn it by the side as well. So this is the front and this is the back. For the back, like I said, remember it has a keyhole, and I said I'm going to be cutting the keyhole following the selvage that I have here. So I have cut it out, and this is my modesty panel as well. The modesty panel is going to be in between the lacing bar and the side front. So this is what it looks like. This is the first side and this is the second side. The second side does not have a modesty panel. So this is what we have for the back so far. So now for my lacing bar, I'm going to be inserting boning to strengthen it. So you can use a regular boning or a plastic bone. I'm using this plastic bone. So I have already made the channels. I'm just going to place it in between them like this, and then you're going to cut it like half an inch before the hem, because we are going to sew this to a skirt. So you just try to, I'm trying to get the midpoint. It's bulky because I have air stay on both the lining and the main body. Just try to separate it and then you dip it inside just like this. So after dipping it inside, when you get to the hem, you're going to cut it off. Okay, that's all you need to do. So after this, now I'm going to bring in my skirt. I have already cut out my skirt. The skirt is a mermaid skirt with string. So it's a cut together train. I have a detailed tutorial on how you can go about it. So this is the skirt and it has half lining. The lining is not full. It's just going to stop at the knee area because the skirt is not the fabric is not so transparent. So I'm just using my half lining to it. So what I'm going to do now, after fixing my bone, I'm going to sew the skirt to this upper part, and then we join it by the side and shoulder. So here now you can see that the yoke at the back, I did not line it. So this neck area here, I'm just going to use my bias to turn it out. I don't need to turn the shoulder because I'm going to use my front lining to turn everything out. So So I just flip this over and turn it out, and then for the sleeve, I'm going to, for the armhole, I'm going to be fixing a sleeve, so I'm not going to have a problem with that. So I'll go ahead now, fix my bonnets, and then sew the you can see my modesty panel will not stop me from sewing my, because I have like half an inch allowance here, so that's where I'm going to sew it to my skirt. I'll do all of that now and bring over to show us what we have. So I've joined it together now, and then I fixed my sleeve. It's a basic 3/4 sleeve, so this is what it looks like, and this is what the back looks like as well. You can see our modesty panel is going to, you can see it's extended, so that by the time you zip it up, the body will not be showing. That is why I made my modesty panel extended like that. And like I said, there's a tutorial on how you can do that. So I made my highlights holes as well, and then this is what the back looks like. So over here I'm going to fix a bra hook so that I can close it up right there. So this is what it looks like. And then on the upper chest and neckline area, I decided to add this beautiful detail that we see here. I filmed a tutorial on it and it's already uploaded as well, so I'm going to drop the link if you want to learn how to do this. And then also the person wants a detachable belt, so I made a detachable belt that can be tied on the waist area. You can decide to tie it or not. There's a tutorial on how I made this as well. The tutorial is together, so I'm just going to link them so that you can watch how it is done if you want to. So I'll take this to the mannequin now so that you can see what it looks like. So this is what it looks like on the mannequin. The belt can be removed. I can also place it if you want. You can see it's a very simple tutorial and it's really beautiful as you have seen. I hope you enjoy making this beautiful dress.